Hi everyone, welcome to this episode of Ask a Career Coach. And no one's asked me a specific question today, but I wanted to make sure we focused on a very specific topic that is coming up in the news right now. And that's the fact that someone recently lost her job and a lot of residual income based on what she said on the internet, on social media. And I'm sure you all know exactly who I'm talking about. Now, of course, I'm not really here to talk about exactly what she said, even though, yes, it was absolutely abhorrent, but I want to talk about the ramifications of what you do on social media and how it affects your career. Now, this is not the only person this has happened to. I'm sure we all have thousands of stories. Just off the top of my head, I can tell you of two stories that I know about. One was a school counselor where I used to live, who during football playoff season was making some kind of, smack talk comments and happened to mention that she was going to run over fans of the opposing team with her car. She meant it in a very kind of just plain fashion, but that's kind of threat of violence, not exactly the behavior we expect from a school counselor. And yes, it absolutely did affect her employment. Another one I know was just even a hot dog vendor in a major league stadium. He made some comments on his Facebook page about the management of the team. He was let go within about 48 hours. And this was on Facebook. He thought he was just saying this to his friends, but of course he was friends with someone that he happened to work with, and that got forwarded and copied very, very quickly. So this happens over and over and over again. Social media is not private, and it is not within the confines of your own home, and you really have to be careful about what you say, because it can and will be used against you in the future, but pretty much for the rest of your entire life and probably afterwards. So for those of you guys with young kids, obviously have this conversation with them. But we as adults, frankly, we have to remember this. We have to remember this as well. So I have a couple rules about social media that I personally follow, and I recommend every single one of my clients follow. First of all, if you don't want it to follow you for the rest of your natural born life, do not put it on the internet. Don't ever write it down. So if it is not something that you want it to follow you for the next 30 or 40 years, do not put it on social media. Number two, if you wouldn't say it in front of your mother or your pastor, you shouldn't write it on social media. If you don't want your mother reading it, if you don't want your pastor reading it, don't put it on social media. I can tell you, those two rules can save me a lot of headaches, and it'll save you a lot of headaches as well. Then finally, it's the golden rule. If you have nothing nice to say, just don't say it at all. Really, there are definitely causes, and we all have things that we really are passionate about. But if you can't say it in a kind and loving manner, understand that there are risks involved in that, and you might just be risking your career. You have to decide whether the cost is worth it for you. I'm not saying not to be passionate and not to follow the law and follow your heart and go after the causes that you believe in and want to stick up for, whether it's kneeling or whatever it might be. Just understand, we've all seen that people have career confidences for what they do in life, and that includes social media. So beyond that, I hope you guys have a great summer. You're out there networking, but you're also thinking about how you want to represent yourself out there on the internet.